What's this? An actual introduction. Ooh, we're leveling up here, kids. Hello, and welcome to a new video in what will hopefully be me uploading videos regularly for the new year. Don't count your chickens, but also we're gonna hope for it. I'm not yet coffeeed, so I'm gonna do my best to be coherent while also talking about the thing that we're going to do today, which is very overdue. Coffee. But so, as many of you definitely know, piecing is period. And at what point does piecing become so excessive that no old-timey seamstress would ever do this? Because no. Well, pretty sure we are at that point today, because I've been meaning to sew this for a while, and the reason I don't is because everything is cut into teensy little pieces, which I have to sew back together with no seam allowance, essentially. So we are suffering big time today, kids. But we're gonna try to do the thing, and I hope it's gonna work. We're not very optimistic right now, but we're gonna try. So have you ever made a plan, got frustrated, walked away, then tried to walk back and realized, oh, that's why I got frustrated and walked away. It's because this plan sucks. Well, I would like to show you my current piecing monstrosity. Do you see that? That used to be all ordered nicely, and then my dad put a stack of books on top of it, and then it static clung to it and disappeared, and it all fluttered up and stuck to the books, and it fluttered down, and I don't know what it's doing anymore. But so this little gap here is what I like to call my tiny nemesis. And why, would you ask? Well, it's so tiny, right? What could it possibly be doing wrong? And I will show you what it's doing wrong, because the pieces that I have to fill it are these. Wow, Nami, those look absurdly small, you might be thinking, and to which I'd respond, yes, dear viewer, they are indeed absurdly small. God. So in conclusion, welcome to Pain and Suffering, in which you get to watch me hand sew these tiny pieces together while I cry. Well, let's be optimistic. Hopefully I won't cry. Hopefully this will all go perfectly well, and it will be a painless process, but I also know myself, and I know what the gods of sewing intend for me, which is that this will be the most painful process in the world. Let's get started, shall we? So I feel like the first step with this is going to be to figure out this little section here, and by that I mean I'm just gonna sew this to this because it seems like the most cooperative little bitses. So yeah, we're gonna start that, and we're gonna so I've been sewing these with the applique stitch, which is you should Google it if you want to know what it is, just because like I'm really tired and I'm really small and I have a lot of distress on my hands right now, if you can't tell, and I would explain it, but like there's a needle in my mouth right now, and I feel like there's so many other YouTubers that have already, the needle's no longer in my mouth now, but there's so many other YouTubers who have like already explained this and like really well. Pretty sure Enchanted Rose Costumes is why I even know how to do this stitch, and that it's a real thing, which I didn't even know about. 97% sure there's a description of it in like the American Duchess 18th century dressmaking book too, which is a very good book. And yeah, that's all I got. That is my helpful contribution to today, and we're gonna see if I can remember how to do stitches. Probably not. Okay, this is going. So good news, my stitches are significantly better than what they were pre-giving up. So this was before, and this is currently. So yup, we are improving. Bad news, it's still gonna take forever. So time to suffer, I guess. I have got some amazing news. The piecing is complete and I didn't die. So originally I thought this was going to be a whole video on its own, but you know, I think I'm going to give y'all a little bit extra and actually do the pleats, and also more than anything, I'm going to finally attach this monstrosity to the bottom. Good Englishing. I'm going to attach these to the bottom of the section that actually needs to be pieced. That thankfully is going to be done by machine because I, you know, love myself, which you're probably doubting a lot now because, just want to show you some of the more absurd bits of this. Primarily this section right here. It is just all these tiny pieces, and I am an insane person. But yeah, we're gonna pin and sew these to the main thing now. Bye! So logically I know I should be switching my thread to be red to match it. I also know that I should pin all of this together versus just the front half and fudging the back half. But I've been doing this for so long and I want it to be over. So we are just going to sew this with white thread and call it a day. That's my plan. Alright, it's time for the moment of truth. Is it long enough? It is. Oh, my feet are in frame. That makes this whole... My head kind of isn't... I'm really good at filming. But yeah, I did it, guys! It's all a piece and it reaches my feet. Huzzah! So this is the moment where I realized that I had completely forgotten how to actually do these pleats, and despite the fact that I have been staring at sack gowns and contemplating making one for literal years, so I jumped back into the handy American Duchess guide while background watching Emma, and tried to figure out what I had to do. And eventually I decided to just sort of put together the pleats without worrying about doing the lining yet, because I would have to cut out the lining and like assemble those ties and stuff, and I just wanted to finish the pleats, y'all. It's allowed. I'm allowed to be lazy like this, or like, and technically, let's be fair, the pattern instructions say to do the pleats before the lining anyway, and everything is, you could do what you want, okay? We're historically adequate in this house. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just, you know, studying. The other thing that YouTube has definitely taught me is that I am, like, very bad at not cursing. Half of the weird, like, splits and cuts you see in this video is just because I dropped, like, a poop word, or a dang word, or... not usually the F-bomb, surprisingly. I don't drop that one often, but I dropped enough that I just had to, like, do weird cuts and stuff. And the good news is, though, that I figured it out, and I set up everything, and this is about the moment where I'm going to do something that will probably make you pattern purists cry, which is realizing that I hated having this whole pattern bunched up in my lap, so I just cut the plate guide off the top and just hacksawed it up. It's fine. It's fine. I'm about to do something actually responsible after this, though, which is wild, because despite the fact that I did hack this off like a rat, which is accidentally going to be a theme in this video,
but I do go back and I do actually, you know, label this. So it makes sense when I inevitably open this pattern 2 years from now and go, past Nami, what did you do? But here is some awesome footage, great angle, A+ filming skills, and I'm still good at this. But this is of me, you know, marking the pleat placement with pins. And I accidentally, so when I cut this, I didn't cut this with the center back seam because, like you probably noticed, I was not having a great time with the volume of fabric that I needed for this. So there is actually like an extra 5/8 of an inch in those center back pleats because I just accidentally cut it the full length. And here I am doing that pleating. And best part here is that you can see once again my A+ filming, in which you see none of the pleats actually being pleated because my hands are in the way. But that's okay, because I'm sure you've seen people do this before on the internet in costume.
So it's been done. The scariest part is complete, you guys. I am so beyond pleased. The pleats are done, and check them out. So they're only pinned in place right now, so I've got them pinned up here, and then I just sort of stuck a pin onto the dress form to keep them in place, and then side pleats are also pinned and like sort of positioned over where the pocket slit should go. Still haven't even attached the front piece, but like I really don't care because all I wanted to do was see what the toe pleats looked like on the dress form. And guys, oh my god, guys, it's real. It's real. Unfortunately though, this pinning of things to the dress form has made me come to an inevitable conclusion that I was, you know, slowly coming to on my own, but I sort of expected, which is that I'm going to have to make a proper pair of stays for this if I really want it to look right, because yes, I do have the 17th century stays that I have on my dress form already, but they are, you know, 17th century, not 18th century, and they are just different enough that it's not sitting correctly. And truth of the matter is that, you know, this is like making a sack gown is kind of my dream dress, and granted this meme Christmas absurdity is not the dream dress itself, but I want to still do this right, and that means, you know, making a new set of stays. And that's honestly fine because when you do them by machine, they're honestly not that bad, and I'm going to perhaps try machine binding them this time using Cynthia from Red Threaded's method, and it should hopefully, maybe I'll be able to knock them out tomorrow. I don't know. I say that very optimistically. But for now, guys, this is the end of this video. Thank you so much for coming along. The pleats are done. I did it, kids. That's all that matters. Yes.
When the bottom of your gown is so pieced that it looks like a rat chewed it out, just look at that little like knot on it over there. Just like took little bitty bites. This is fine. Everything's fine. Piecing is period.
What y'all didn't know is that this was secretly an outtake from Ratatouille the TikTok musical.